Hi, my name is Anne Goodall. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and author of the Hypnosis for Intuitive Eating. Today I'd like to talk to you about 3 key reasons why diets don't last. So if you've been on many diets like I used to, and you may have noticed that it is really, really difficult. It's easy to go on a diet, but it is very, very difficult to stick on a diet. So why is that? Have you ever wondered to know, is it you? And that's what lots of people think. They think, oh, it's probably me. It's probably other people can do it and I can't. Well, I'm here to tell you that that is actually not the case. It's not you that's the problem, it's the diet. So what are the 3 key reasons why it is almost impossible to stick with a diet? Well, the first reason is because you've got to understand that we have a conscious and unconscious mind. Now, many, many generations ago, when we were hunter-gatherers, and you've got to understand that our brain basically has evolved. I mean, this is not new. This is not some, crazy theory left of field. Our brain has evolved depending on where we're at in terms of humanity. So once upon a time, not probably really on a historic level, not that long ago, we lived in caves. We had to go out and we had to be hunter-gatherers. We had to go out and get our own food. Now, in those times, basically, it was a bigger, much greater chance of you dying from starvation than there was dying from overfeeding because food wasn't always available. So my unconscious mind, your unconscious mind, is programmed to think that when it sends a signal which says it wants food, if you don't give it food when it sends that signal, then your unconscious mind thinks there is an impending famine. So what happens? What would a smart brain do in an impending famine? Well, a smart brain would go, okay, look, we've got to conserve energy. We've got to get more efficient with our calories, which is exactly what happens on a diet. Have you ever noticed at the very beginning that you can lose lots of weight? But then as the program goes on, it gets harder and harder and more difficult. And that's because your unconscious mind, your hindbrain doesn't understand that there is food available and that you're not listening to the signal. Your hindbrain thinks it's a famine. So your body is doing everything it can to conserve energy. It doesn't want you to lose weight because your brain thinks that if you lose too much weight, you can die. And at the end of the day, your unconscious mind is always about survival. So the number one reason why it's really difficult to stick to a diet long term is because your brain mistakes a diet, food restriction, to be like a famine. If you don't honor your hunger, that's when the brain does what it needs to do to conserve energy and make it really difficult to lose weight. The second reason it's difficult to stick with a diet is, let's just say for a second that you have decided that you want to be a particular number on a scale. This is how it works for lots of people. So you go, all right, look, that's what I'm happy with. What you're really saying, in essence, is I'm not happy unless I'm actually that number. Now, the challenge with this is that you have a settling point. A settling point is usually a size where your body is really programmed to be. So if you're on a program, on a diet, and you are trying to fight your settling point, if you're trying to fight getting below and staying below whatever your body considers a healthy weight range for you, it will be extremely difficult. And if you're somebody who argues or fights with your body over 2, 3, 4 kilos, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can lose it, but it goes back on almost instantly when you have one wrong meal, which of course there's no such thing really as. And then the third reason why it's difficult to stay on food restrictive programs long term is because you're relying on a thing called willpower. And willpower is not infinite, it's finite. So willpower is something that we use up on a daily basis. We start off our day with almost like a jar of full willpower. Then the day comes and we meet people, or somebody grates on us, or somebody says something, or you're doing a task that's not that interesting. And so you use up your willpower. Have you ever noticed that the main times that you would be tempted to go for sugary foods or foods that you want not to have would be either in the afternoon or at night? Because that willpower that you've been using basically has been used up. So the 3 key reasons on why it is really difficult to maintain diets. First reason is that you are fighting against your body. You're fighting against your unconscious mind. Food restriction, if you're doing it really, really decent food restriction, your body thinks it's a famine. The second reason is that you have a settling point. So if you're fighting to be a particular number that you in your head want to be, and that goes against your body, then you really, you're taking on a mammoth army in the terms of your brain and your body. And the third reason is because you're relying on willpower. And willpower is finite, not infinite. And you'll be using up your willpower for lots of other things during the day. So if this sounds like you, if you are tired of dieting, if you are tired of yo-yo dieting, if you are tired of having the weight rebound, lose weight, it comes back plus a little bit more, then I suggest you check out intuitive eating. Check out and see what intuitive eating actually is. Check out how easy it can be to reprogram your brain to become an intuitive eater. So, until I see you the next time, remember, intuitive eating, you were born that way.